Recruiter questions for call center. How many times have you applied to a call center position and you haven't gotten the job just yet? Maybe once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 8 times, 10 times. It happens to be if you are on your 3rd attempt. Stop applying. Something that you need to understand is that every single time you go to a job interview and every single time you are being asked these recruiter questions for call center, there is a feedback moment. And the main problem that you have right now is that you haven't taken into account what the previous recruiter told you on what to improve next time you go to a job interview at a call center. So one more time, if it happens to be that this is going to be your 3rd attempt or your 5th attempt or your 10th attempt, stop applying. I don't want you to go to a call center. The main reason you haven't been hired just yet is because you haven't put into practice what the previous recruiter told you to work on. And if you didn't receive any feedback from your previous job interview for those recruiter questions for a call center, today you're gonna know what are those common mistakes that you are making and perhaps you are not noticing. And if you improve them just today and you practice for your next job interview for those recruiter questions at a call center, I promise you, you're gonna be hired next time.
Okay, I'm going to put you on hold for a moment.
The trainees that they come to me, it's because they have been dealing with different call centers. They have been told the same feedback. And this is something that you must listen to if you really want to get hired in a call center. Or what? Are you afraid? I want you to know what is the recruiter mission. And also, I want you to know how many questions you're gonna be asked next time. Also, you're gonna know what is the right length, what is the right period of time, or how many minutes or seconds you have for each question. And last but not least, I want you to practice some of the questions that I'm gonna be asking you today. So let's get started right now. I'm gonna talk about the most common problem. Problem number 1 is your body language. It happens to be that every single time that I have the opportunity to interview a trainee, a future agent for call center, most likely their body language is like they don't want to express anything. They are like this. And they just want to speak English as they were speaking Spanish. And that is something that you can't do. Why? Because English is another language. You need to incorporate as well the rhythm, the intonation. So every single time that you have to talk to the recruiter, it doesn't matter if it's going to be an online meeting or it's going to be a face-to-face meeting, the body language positions that you must have is the following. Your shoulder, you must put them backwards, and your chest or your breast, in case you are a lady, you need to show it. Why? Because this is going to give you the confidence that you need. And now let me tell you a quick story. When I was working for a sales account, there was a person whose English was not really good enough. His intonation was really bad, as well as his pronunciation. But something that made him stand out of the crowd was his position, was his body language, was the way that he used to face every single conversation with customers, coworkers, or supervisor. So every single time that you have the opportunity to talk to the OM, to talk to the recruiter, or to talk to a language specialist, put your shoulders backwards and show that confidence. Because confidence in a call center, it's key, it's fundamental. When you show confidence to the recruiter, there is a likelihood that you get hired. Put in practice your body language. Number 2, intonation. 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 Do you see the difference? When I speak to my trainees, when I speak to those future agents for call centers, when I ask them questions like, why should we hire you? They start answering, Well, you should hire me because I am the best fit for this company, and also I just read your job description, and I am the best for this position. So that is wrong. Do not do that. You need to give the pitch to the recruiter. You need to make sure when you go up and when you go down. And this is very, very simple. Take a look at the following expression. I am the best fit for this position. Instead of, I am the best fit for this position. Who do you think is going to be higher? Person A or person B? I am the best fit for this position. Obviously, it's going to be person B. That was a rhetorical question, so you don't need to leave your comments down below. Another problem that you may have is the lack of vocabulary. Most of the time you go to the next job interview and you haven't taken the time in order for you to review the vocabulary for call center. Now you might ask me, hey Nestor, where can I find information about call center vocabulary? There are a lot of information nowadays on YouTube that you can go ahead and just type, for example, dictionary for call center, and you will find a treasure about call center vocabulary. Most of the time when you are in a job interview, what is going to happen is that you're going to say something like this. How do you say organized? Determined? And that's the problem. You didn't actually look up that word in the dictionary. What was the meaning, how you can use it, and how you can actually use that new word in a new sentence. And another mistake that you are making is that you are not giving yourself the time for some practice. I am going to be telling you this one more time. Agents for call centers, they are fluent in what they say, in what they do every single day with a customer, because guess what? They are repeating the solution to the most common problems that customers may have with the products or with the service that they handle on their everyday basis. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions and I want you to practice. And I want you to practice those questions as much as possible. Every day. Give yourself a week. Give yourself 2 weeks. Give yourself 3 weeks before you go into your next job interview at a call center. Why? Because it will be better that you practice a couple of weeks before your next round. Because what is going to happen if you go again to that call center? So the recruiter is going to ask you the questions again that pretty much are going to be the same questions, because guess what? The recruiter might not remember actually what he asked you that day because he already interviewed hundreds of people before you. So you need to take that advantage. What is going to happen if you go again to the next call center? Imagine the following. Imagine that there are only 4 call centers in town. Those call centers where you can actually grow, when you can actually build a career. What do you think is going to happen? So you go to the first call center. Let's say you go to Sitel and they say no to you. Then you go to the next one the following day, WebHelp, they say no to you. Then you go to, let's say, Axito, or you go to any other call center, Concentrix, for example, and all of them say no to you. So you need to wait for 3 months in order for you to reapply it again. And what you're gonna be doing for those 3 months? Are you gonna pay for a course? No, you need to practice. You need to practice the questions that I'm going to ask you today. And this is the thing, listen, I'm gonna be asking you the most common questions that you're gonna face next time you go to a job interview. Those recruiter questions for call center. And what I want you to do is the following. I'm gonna ask you the question and I'm gonna take the timer with me and I'm gonna set up the timer to 30 seconds. And what I want you to do is basically that within those 30 seconds, you answer the question that I'm about to ask you. Are you ready? So let me call the recruiter. Hey, recruiter, come here. Let's get started. Thank you very much for coming in. I'm going to be asking you a couple of questions in order for me to determine if you are the right fit for this position. Remember, you're going to have 30 seconds after each question. Are you ready? Are you nervous?
You shouldn't be. Let's get started. Tell me about yourself. Why should we hire you? What is your greatest weakness? Why do you want this position? Are you flexible? How do you define success? How do you define failure? What is customer service for you? How do you handle a difficult customer? Thank you very much for your time. I need you to come within 3 months.
What is the mission of the recruiter? The mission of the recruiter is to make sure if you are the right person for that position, if you are the right fit for the position or the perfect fit. What I'm talking about is that if you have the right skills, the right experience, the right education, or the right expertise for the position that they are looking for. Just 1 second. Listen. Pay attention to that one, guys. Can you hear that? Oh my God. Yeah, I know that they need to sell as well, but right now, bye-bye. So as I was saying, he's gonna determine through the questions and your answers if you are the right person for the position. Now, let me tell you another thing. The recruiter is gonna give you between 30 seconds to 45 seconds in order for you to expand your ideas, in order for you to expand your communication skills. Even though the questions seem like simple to answer, do not give just a simple answer. You need to know how to use your length. You need to use how to use those 30 seconds. You need to know how to use those 45 seconds. Why? Because you are showing the recruiter how good your English is. And as you may know, the length of your answer should be between 30 seconds and 45 seconds. And today, I'm gonna show you a speaking activity that is gonna help you out to improve that length, to improve your vocabulary, to improve your answers, and you have better practice. Something else that I want you to know is that the recruiter might ask you between 5, 7, or 10 questions. And that is gonna be depending, honestly, on your level of experience and how good you're answering those questions. So do not feel afraid if you are being asked more questions than your partner or the person that is next door, because you don't know what is her or his level of English. So you better focus on your answers and better focus on the way that you are giving your answers to the questions that the recruiter is going to ask you. The speaking strategy that I want to reveal today is the following. For every single question you're being asked by the recruiter, those recruiting questions for call center, I want you to do the following. I want you to pick one responsibility. I want you to pick one experience based on your background that supports your idea of working for that call center. I want you to pick one of the skills that you have or it's needed for the position, and you say it. For example, you can say something like, I am a multitasking person, or I have good active listening skills. Or for example, you can say, I can show empathy to the customer. So that is the skill. This is what they are looking for. What else a recruiter is looking for in you? How good you are with numbers. He's looking for how good you are in communication. He's looking for how good you are in paying attention to details. He's looking for how good you are in finding information on a website page, for example. So you name it, any skill that you consider that you have, you pick that skill. Then the following thing that you need to do is to explain how you got that skill. For example, if you already have some work experience, or if you went to a workshop and you got that knowledge, or if you have some kind of expertise on doing that skill. So number one more time, you need to pick up the skill. Number two, you need to tell the recruiter how you got that skill. And number three, and the most important one, you need to tell the recruiter why you think this skill it's really good for the position you're applying for. So if you follow those steps, pick one skill, how you got the skill, and tell the recruiter or remind the recruiter why this skill is really important, you're gonna get hired. And obviously, you need to fix the mistakes that I talked to you about. Body language, intonation, vocabulary, and fluency. Quiero invitarte a nuestro club de preparación Respuestas para entrevistas de trabajo en un call center. Este club es completamente privado y vamos a abordar esas preguntas que te van a hacer en la entrevista de trabajo la próxima vez que vayas a un call center, donde nos reunimos y contestamos a 1 a 2 preguntas por sesión. Luego hacemos una evaluación de tu respuesta, te proveemos feedback, las partes donde hay que mejorar, ya sea en vocabulario, pronunciación, fluidez, y también te damos material en base a lo que tú necesitas mejorar. Puedes integrarte este próximo domingo en el horario de las 10 a 12 del mediodía. Si quieres más información sobre los precios, solamente tienes que contactarnos en el WhatsApp link que está en la descripción del video. Y también aprovecho para decirte que si no quieres participar de este club de preparación para entrevistas de trabajo para la futura entrevista en un call center, está bien, no hay ningún problema, pero recuerda dejar tu like, suscríbete, porque si te suscribes, en este mismo video vamos a hacer una analítica de todas las personas que se han suscrito con este video, y al final del mes vamos a hacer una rifa para que tú puedas participar de manera gratuita en una free mock evaluation, en una evaluación para saber cómo está tu nivel de inglés para la próxima entrevista de trabajo que puedas tener. Así que suscríbete ahora. What do you think about this strategy I just shared with you? And let me tell you that I'm gonna be leaving you another strategy just right here for language specialist questions, because recruiter questions for call center is completely different from language specialist questions. And let me know in the comments if this strategy worked out for you at the end. If you have liked this video, remember to smash that like button, tap the notification bell so you won't miss more information about the call center industry, and of course, subscribe. Subscribe now! Thank you very much for your time, and talk to you soon. So, go to the car. Go to the car right now. That is another speaking strategy that you can learn and start using for your next job interview at a call center.
How may I help you?
Yeah, I bought a product from you guys and it's broken, but it's still under warranty.
Okay, I'm going to put you on hold for a moment.